I started making YouTube videos when I was 14 years old.
How many hours do you think?
14, 15 hours, 7 days a week for 6 or 7 years. Go and sleep, wake up the next day, do it again. I destroyed my health.
Feeling isolated, maybe feeling lonely. Why didn't you give up? Dude, that is insane.
Hey, I'm Vikkstar, and I'm in great company. Hey guys, it's me, Vikkstar 123.
Introducing the Sidemen.
He's down.
Shut the fuck up!
Wake up, make videos. You're just a username and a voice.
Like you're sort of living in a virtual world almost.
To the outside world, looked like psychosis. It's like, why are you sat in front of a screen and talking to yourself?
You have now 22 million subscribers on Sidemen. It's like a third of the country.
We've been a group since 2013. Our most expensive video was...
What the? But the competitiveness within you guys in Sidemen, that never got out of control. Got a bit out of hand, that. For me, I see someone who is addicted to what you do.
It did kind of get to a point where after so long, you've tied your self-worth as a person to those numbers. It became, like, for all of us, so addictive. I was so, like, exhausted for a kind of few years.
When was the last time you cried? Guys, another amazing episode for you today on Great Company. I'm really excited for it. Now, before we start, I say this every single time, but I just want to remind you, if you haven't quite subscribed to our show already, if you can do us one thing, which is just click that subscribe button. It's completely free, but it does so much for us, I cannot tell you. It means we can keep getting the guests, keep creating the content, keep doing all the things that we want to do here. If you can do that one thing, thank you so much. And if you're new to the show, welcome. My name is Jamie, I'm the host. And if you're an OG, you're going to love this episode. Okay, we have Vikkstar, one of the Sidemen members on the show. You're going to find out everything you want to ever know about the Sidemen and content creation and everything. Okay, without further ado, please enjoy this episode of Great Company with Vikkstar. I know exactly who you are because I've seen your videos. I've watched you for a long time. And what I find so interesting, especially about YouTube, right, is that it's so personal to you because I can sit in my room by myself and I can watch your videos alone and you can talk to me and I see what you do and everything, right? And I know how famous you are. Like, you're very famous.
Somehow, yeah. Although we don't like to see it that way. We try not to.
Okay, but you're very famous. Like extremely.
A lot of people know who we are. I don't know.
A lot of people know who you are,
Yeah.
but then a lot of people wouldn't know who you are either. And so you're seriously famous, but also at the same time
Underground.
Underground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you explain to our listeners who some know who you are, but who don't know who you are? What do you do and why are you famous?
So I started making YouTube videos in my bedroom when I was 14 years old. And it was like this fun little creative hobby, just record myself playing video games, clip it up, put it on YouTube. You can't even monetize YouTube videos at this point. So it's just like a fun little hobby. I'm going to learn the skill, see where it goes. And then one day a company comes along and says, hey, we'll pay you to make these videos. And I think, okay, I've cracked the jackpot of life. I've won the lottery because I'm getting paid to play video games, if you think about it that way. So started doing that and, over 14 years have really kind of revolutionized the way that is, taking it from beyond video games to real life to every different kind of content you can make. And loads of people have joined the journey across the kind of over a decade and support us in doing that. And it allows us to kind of go bigger and better every time.
When you were 14 years old, where were you? Were you in Sheffield at the time?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're in Sheffield, you're making videos in your room, which I imagine at the time is kind of like a strange thing to be doing, right? But,
massively.
So you must have felt like a bit of an outcast in a way.
Yeah, 100%. It was almost to the outside world looked like psychosis. It's like, why are you sat in front of a screen and talking to yourself? Because no one did it. I remember the first time I ever tried to vlog. It was in 2012. I was going to an event in London called Eurogamer, and I'm there on a train talking into my phone, and everyone else is on the train is looking at me like, this guy's lost his mind.
He's totally lost his mind.
Because no one did it. There weren't influencers, there weren't YouTubers, there was none of this stuff. So I think that was the barrier to entry at that time. And you kind of had to push yourself out of your comfort zone to do that. And because we were the first people to do it, it meant that we could grow audiences first doing it. It meant that there wasn't as much pressure on us. There weren't expectations in terms of what quality content is now. The ceiling, I'm sure as you know, is so high for content right now. It has to look so good.
Yeah.
But back then, people just were excited to see something real.
But can I ask this? So, firstly, how much, when you were 14, 15, 16 years old, whatever, making the videos, how much were you paid when they said, we're going to pay you to make these videos? What was it?
Oh, I mean, maybe back then I'd make like 50, 60 quid a month. But as a kid,
mad.
This is
That's gold.
Oh my word, what's going on? So it was, enough at that point to really kind of be something that was worth pursuing as, hey, instead of, having a paper round, I'm going to carry on trying to make my videos better and better. It was like I had my own kind of mini business in doing that. And then I carried that on throughout the whole of my time at school. And by the time I'd finished my A-levels, I was pretty much earning, a good salary. And that's when I had the time to think, okay, I want to take a gap year and put all of my efforts into this because I've been balancing it with schoolwork. So let's see what I can achieve in that year. And also, we were terrified because we were like, okay, we're getting paid to play video games. When does this bubble burst? When does a media company come in and take away all the rights from us? When do people just stop watching our videos? When do the advertisers say, hey, we don't want to advertise on YouTube anymore? We had no idea what was going to happen. So I took this gap year. And fortunately for me in that year, that's pretty much when the Sidemen, which is the group that I'm now part of, formed, because we were a group of young guys doing the same thing, struggling to make content at home, annoying our parents, being loud, being up late at night. So we thought we'll move into a house together, make videos together. And that was the start of something even bigger.
18 years old, what salary are you earning from doing?
I can't remember the exact amount, but it was tens of thousands.
That's amazing.
A year from, but then also that was kind of working at that point, like 18 hours a day, or 16 to 17 hours a day on the videos.
Wow.
And then I remember we moved into our first shared house together, which was the Sidemen. I realized kind of like half of my earnings were going into rent, or maybe even more than half my earnings. And I was thinking, this is a bit crazy. My parents were like, what are you doing? You can't move into a house with these strangers in London that you've met like once before. So it was a roller coaster, but it was, everything happened at the right time.
When you're 40, because I imagine you said you felt like and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe you felt like a bit of an outcast because you were making these videos, but you enjoyed doing them. Maybe you're a bit of an introvert, whatever it is, but then you're in your room doing something so extrovert. So that's a weird like combination. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because I was both at the same time. And I actually thank YouTube and all the friends that I made through YouTube to make me come out of my shell massively, because it felt like, first of all, in gaming, one thing that was really nice is, especially back then, and even to a degree now, you're just a username and a voice.
Yeah.
You're not, you go into every situation there and it's just like, you are just this person. People aren't judging you based on how you look, what you're wearing, where you're from. You're just this kind of username and a voice. So I think in gaming, I really enjoyed that, having all of these friends that I had through the gaming world that didn't view me in the same way that kind of everyone in the real world and at school might have viewed me. And then also going into the YouTube thing, again, it was this new group of people. So I wasn't inside my own head thinking like, oh, what are the people at school going to think about, how I'm putting myself across, what I'm talking about. It's kind of all of these new people online, which was fun, and it was this escape. And then when that got to a certain point, then people at school started to find out about it. And then there was this very mixed response of...
What was the response?
It was a mixed response of, oh, you make money from this. This is really cool. Like, tell me more about it. And then on the other side, why do you sit at home and talk to a camera while playing video games? That's really weird. Like, you should probably do something else kind of mindset, because it was just something so alien and different to people then.
When you're sort of getting a love-hate response from something, that's almost an exciting place to be.
Yeah.
Because that means you're doing something different.
100%.
Because people are admiring you for doing something different, but people are hating on you because maybe they're jealous or they don't understand it.
Exactly.
And that's a really good place to be.
That's what they say. They always say, like, if you're trying to be successful in something, you almost want people talking negatively about it, because it's a sign that you're going in the right direction. It's like you have to kind of see both sides of it. So yeah, I think you're right. But Not that I knew that at the age of 15. I was so confused. I was like, what's going on?
Because it's confusing. Yeah. That must be confusing, right?
Yeah.
And all you kind of do, I know for me at that age, that like man, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I just wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
Like I was so desperate to just fit in the whole time. And, you know, I wanted to be admired and successful, but also I wanted to fit in. So I imagine there's like a lot of people out there who probably had the same vision, same desire, same appetite for what you were doing, but decided not to do it because they were too scared.
I actually remember early on in my career, so it wasn't just me that started making videos. It was actually a big group of about 7 or 8 boys from my school also who were making videos. But they kind of all stopped and I carried on. And that's when people kind of started to pay attention to it. But I remember at one point very early in my career, they had maybe 1,000 subscribers at the time on their like group channel, and they put up this video and it was well edited, and they had a HD recording device. And I remember looking at it and distinctly thinking, I'm sat here with a camcorder on a tripod pointing at my TV. When my screen turns black, you see myself sat there with my headset on in the reflection. My production quality is so far from what they have. I remember at one point looking at it and thinking, I'm never going to be that.
Right.
Why don't I just give up now? Because it was kind of those doubting yourself thoughts of like, someone else is already doing it better, so why even try? But I guess that's a lesson in life that if you persevere, you can go much, much further than you might think you would be able to.
But why didn't you give up?
I couldn't truly tell you, but I think it was just because I was fascinated by it. And again, like you say, I was kind of searching for the experience and the skills. And I was thinking in the back of my head is I've learned how to use some editing software. I've learned a bit about video games, making content ahead of anything else. And also I think maybe I didn't have as much else going on. All these other kids were playing all their different sports, kind of going out, drinking, doing all their fun stuff. I was just like in my room playing games, making my videos, but it kind of worked out.
That image of you when the screen goes blank, and then you just see yourself.
So funny. I used to edit out those little clips. I'm like, you can't see me.
You just see yourself just sitting there. You're like, wow, this is a bit lonely, actually. Man, when I look at you, right, above all the creativity and all those different things, I think people go like, God, and I imagine the question you ask, how do you make it so successful? How do you know this and that?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I see someone who is addicted to what you do, and is resilient and consistent, and that is the success story, I imagine. Plus the other things, but at the core of it, surely that's what the success is.
So when I started my gap year, I turned down a place at UCL to do natural sciences. So kind of in my family's view, especially, that's a good place to be if you want to set yourself up for life. You're going to take that. But I said, let me take 1 year and kind of focus all my energy into this YouTube thing, see where it goes. And I kind of almost made a deal with myself at that point. And it was, if I'm going to defer that place, I'm going to upload a video every single day for as long as I possibly can. And I think I went something like 6 or 7 years, every single day, a new YouTube video. And it didn't have to be the best video. It just had to be a video. And I think that's also what people say, is they say sometimes it's better to be imperfect lots of times than perfect just a few times. So I think, again, the 10,000 hour rule, I think I've uploaded over 10,000 videos to my YouTube channels. So I really went through a period of years where it was genuinely wake up, make videos for 14, 15, 16 hours, and that would be recording them, putting them into editing software, editing them, uploading that, doing that again 4 or 5 times in a day, going to sleep, wake up the next day, do it again.
Okay, man.
So it is, but it's consistency. That's how it works.
Wow, man. That is beyond dedication. Do you think you have to be, in a way, an addict to be successful?
That's a good question. I think it definitely helps a lot. And I also think, actually thinking back to the early days of YouTube, it was very easy to really, really get into it because it was that real-time response. Every day you post a video, you see the number of comments, you see the number of views going up every hour. It became, like, for all of us, so addictive. And you're seeing, the revenue's going up, the views are going up, the watch time's going up, your number of subscribers, you're hitting 10,000, 100,000, going like that. It was a very easy addiction to chase. And I think a lot of us have struggled to shift out of that later in life.
Yeah.
Because it is a cycle that you can get trapped in forever. And I remember kind of at some points I would kind of upload a video, and in the back of my head, there would be a countdown time. Be like, okay, 14 hours until you need to get the next one live, 3 hours till the next one goes live. So you can get caught in that loop, but also it was a lot of fun at the same time. I can't act like I was doing something I really didn't enjoy. I was playing games I was enjoying. I was creating an enjoyable experience. I was editing my favorite parts of those experiences and just sharing them. So it was kind of, while it was a bit obsessive, it was also, and still is, a dream job, really.
Dude, that is insane. So how many hours do you think you were spending, especially during that gap year, you were spending making videos? How many hours a day?
On average, I would say like 14, 15 hours, 7 days a week for a couple of years on end. It was all I did.
Thick.
It was
It's insane.
but it was so fun at the same time and so exciting, especially when we were living in a house doing it together. The whole lifestyle just revolved around it. We'd go into each other's bedrooms and help each other record real life videos. We'd go on trips and we'd make videos while on those trips because we were just documenting our lives, and we still do that to this point. It's an interesting
that is what
thing.
Okay, like you, I'm obsessed with what I do. I'm addicted to what I do. I love it. I live it. I breathe it. I eat it. Like, oh my God. But what that happens with that is then it can lead to, I think burnout, can lead to feeling isolated, maybe feeling lonely, feeling all these things. Have you ever felt that?
Yeah, definitely throughout stages. And it was even more, more, how do I say this? More focused in the gaming space. Because I'd pick up a game that I enjoyed, let's say it was Call of Duty, Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, and I would make videos on this game. I'd be loving it. It would be super easy for months and months. The views on that kind of game would go up and up and up. And it would get to a point where I was like, okay, not really enjoying playing this game or making videos on this game. So then you end up in this trap where you're like kind of hitting record. You're like, put this big smile on, act like I'm having the best time ever. But actually, I'm not enjoying this game, and the viewers are seeing maybe 5 hours of footage compiled down. So they see the kind of pure best bits, but you did kind of end up a bit burnt out on a title. And I think for a lot of us, it meant a lot of the times biting the bullet and saying, okay, I'm going to try starting making videos on this other game that I think is going to be a big hit at some point. Maybe it's not there yet. I'm going to see my views drop by, 50, 80% to start making videos on this new game. But it was almost like you had to keep adapting. It's the same in business. You have to keep adapting how you run your business to kind of survive in business. So there were like these kind of little stages of burnout throughout. And then I think a big realization was when I did kind of decide to stop uploading every day. It was this, okay, I have some spare time now. What do I do with this spare time? What do I like doing other than playing video games, going out and making YouTube videos? So it was like a kind of like a shock of a year or two where I was like, okay, I need to start finding things outside of work that I can do in my life. Like, how strange is that?
That is strange. So there was a moment, because you said you uploaded a video every single day for 7-8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you're sort of living in a virtual world almost, not living in the real world. When you do stop doing that, as you said, and you suddenly leave your room and you're like, okay, fine, I'm not. Firstly, is that scary when you suddenly decide I'm not going to post a video day in, day out?
Yeah.
And then secondly, what was the feeling like? Was it weird?
It was both at the same time. It was scary because one, it's kind of almost to be so successful and consistent, you've almost scared yourself into thinking that I have to get this done. I have to get the video out. I have to be keeping my views up. And it was also part of it as YouTubers. We are all competitive. We're hardworking, we're competitive. So it is like, I'm getting this many views a month. How many views are you getting a month? Oh, I got this video over 1 million. Did you get this video over 1 million? And you chase that, and it's great at driving success and kind of pushing yourself forward. And it was always kind of a friendly, competitive nature. But it did kind of get to a point where after so long, you've tied your self-worth as a person to those numbers.
Really?
So if I'm doing 60 million views a month, I'm like, yeah, I'm that guy right now. I'm walking around, and then it's like, oh, if 3 months later it's dropped to 30 million, it's like, what am I doing wrong? Like,
wow.
I need to. And I think following through all of that, it was difficult enough when I thought, okay, I'm putting in my best efforts and the views are still going down. But then every time that happened, they cycled up and down, up and down. you become more okay with that. That is something that just happens. But even then, when I was working as hard as I could, it was kind of like easy to say, okay, the views have gone down, but I'm trying my best. It's fine. But then that mindset of, okay, I'm going to post less videos. I'm going to put less effort into my videos. And then I'm going to watch the views kind of and the revenue kind of go down. It was this thing where you had to like almost like pull yourself out of it and think like, it doesn't matter. And I think again, it was this inherent fear of like turning down university and potentially all these other careers to do YouTube that made me push so much with it.
Because unreliable, unpredictable.
That's it. And it was almost, and it really was. And actually, I'm glad for it now. They say, make hay when the sun shines. And we really, really did when it was not ultra competitive, when the quality standards were not super, super high. We could really kind of have a lot of fun and make a lot of content. We really went for it, and I went for it. And that's one thing that I'm really happy for now, because when it is now hyper competitive, super challenging, quite stressful, we can, one, build a team to help with that, and two, step away from it a little bit and kind of rely on the hard work we put in earlier. So that's the work side of it. And then on the personal side, I was just like, okay, I need hobbies. I need to get into health and fitness. I destroyed my health. Like, I barely did any exercise.
Are you serious?
I was, awake throughout the night making videos. I barely saw the sun.
What do you drink? Are you drinking Red Bulls or energy drinks to keep awake, or no?
Not really. No, I never really got into, I wasn't ever super caffeine heavy, but it was like, we're talking ready meals in my bedroom, like in between two videos. Like, I'm living off sandwiches and crisps, and it was not great. So I think kind of, taking control of my health again was a big step. Getting into kind of music and just learning how to actually not be doing stuff.
So then you had to make basically a risk in your head. You had to say, right, we're going to stop doing this and go and get another go to save your mental and physical health, basically.
Yeah.
What does that teach you in life about making those decisions to adapt, change, move?
You've got to do it. If
Really?
you don't do it, and it's also in doing YouTube for so long, we've seen so many creators become the biggest thing on a certain game, a certain kind of type of content. They blow up to these crazy levels where we're all sat there watching them going, whoa, they're doing crazy numbers. But then 2 years later, you ask, oh, what happened to that person? Like,
Get out of here.
They're just, people come and go so much in this space, and it's because you have to keep changing what you're doing. If we were still making the videos we were making in 2016, 2017, 2018, not many people will be watching them because they're just not what's currently trending. They're not edited and produced in a way that people expect content to be now. So it is that, you've got to keep going for it, trying something new. And also, a lot of our best and most successful things have been, again, I'm sure you'll know in life, it's when you get out of your comfort zone, when you take that risk, when you start a new business, when one fails, but then another becomes something 10 times bigger than you thought it might be. And actually, kind of the Sidemen project itself, we all collaborated. We had these huge audiences that we combined. But then again, our system of collaboration kind of broke down in a sense that it was kind of difficult to always appear on each other's channels. And it might be you'd be on one other person's channel for 3 videos in a month, but then you wouldn't have anything you needed them for, or they wouldn't be able to be on your video. So we made a group channel where we said, hey, we're just going to get together and make one really great video every week on a Sunday, if we, the best video we can. And that now is our biggest series ever. Each of those videos gets kind of 8 to 15 million views every time. And again, that was us trying something new, saying, hey, let's try this. It might succeed, it might fail. And it turned out to be kind of bigger than everything a lot of us had done individually before then.
What you do, you guys as the Sidemen, you do, and on those weekly videos, I find it's amazing because not only do you have all your other stuff going on, you may be getting married, you got relationships, you got social things going on, you're doing your own videos, but then you're also creating a big video which is on the Sunday, right? Which is just kind of mad as a group. And I think what people don't realize is I come from a TV background, right? And what's amazing that I see on YouTube now is like YouTube is the new television. Yeah. Without a doubt. And you can see, I saw a crazy statistic, which is something like 100% of 18 to 35-year-old men have watched something on YouTube.
Yeah, I believe it.
100, that was 100%, which is wild, right? So that's where everything's going. So when you guys are making your big production
Mhm.
shows for the Sidemen, how much does it cost to make it? What is the cost of putting on production like that, which people don't realize?
So those weekly videos of Sidemen Sundays now, I would say on average are around 50 to 60,000 pounds per video, and that's factoring in we have a big team around 40, 50 people that make those videos possible. We sometimes hire huge sets, locations, cars, flights, all of this sort of stuff. So some of the videos we can still make a Sidemen Sunday video that costs 5,000, 10,000 to make if it's just us walking around with cameras doing kind of a silly challenge. But then some of them, our most expensive video was, I think it was 500,000 it cost to put together. So
Which one was that one?
It was our video where we competed against Mr. Beast and we built these big sets, almost Takeshi's Castle-esque. Challenge against him, and that was also him coming over. We're like, it's Mr. Beast. We got to pull out the
pull it together, guys.
And make something big happen here. And it was still nothing compared to the scale of his productions, but it was our attempt at doing something a bit different. So yeah, having access to that now is also pretty crazy. Again,
because you can do one thing.
Yeah, and when we started our videos, every video was $0 to make. We've got thousands of videos we've made that were $500 to make. Some of our biggest videos, you're talking like crossbar challenges we used to film. We would set up cameras ourselves on tripods, hit record, kick footballs at a crossbar for 2 hours, edit it ourselves. Let's say that video cost us £100 to make.
Yeah.
And it's got 30 million views. So that back then you could do that. It was easier.
Now you can't.
Now you've got to spend the money.
High quality,
Yeah.
spend money. People are expecting more.
Yeah.
But if look, and just because I like looking at it from the business side of things, right? If you're creating a video which is going to cost 500,000, right, as a production value, and then you get good views in it, do you make profit back on that, or?
No, I think we lost some money on that video.
So you're just doing it just because you know it's going to work?
Yeah, well, yeah, just because sometimes you just need to do stuff that, again, we were just trying to work out, what do we do with Mr. Beast? And we're like, we'll just build something big. And also we had time constraints because he'd come over for our charity football match. We had a half day before the match. We were like, what can we build that works? And it's almost, you have to think about how reliable a video is as well. Because we're thinking, sometimes we spent a lot of money on a video. We turn up, we shoot it. We're hoping things go as we hope they go. If not, we save it in the edit. That's always the way. But yeah.
What is it when you see like Mr. Beast come over and like these complete and utter machines like you guys are? And we're going to get into Sidemen, how it started and how many, because you have now 22 million subscribers on Sidemen,
Yeah, I think so.
which is 22 million.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what?
That is absurd. It's a lot of people.
It's absurd. It's like a third of the country. Like
Yeah.
It's absurd that many things. What is the one attribute, do you think, that each of these relentless, amazing, successful people in YouTube have in common?
I think, one thing is, we've gone over it, the consistency.
Yeah.
The second is that the risk taking. They don't worry about how they're going to be perceived for doing certain things. They just go for it. They try it. They'll try things that fail. They'll try things that succeed. I say that's another key part of it. I think those are the two main things.
Really?
Be consistent. I guess, and also they love it. They just absolutely love it, and they come across as someone who enjoys doing what they're doing. I think it's really important. I think it's really difficult to fake enjoying what you're doing, and I think I see a lot of the new generation of creators and influencers, if you like,
Faking it.
really going in and they're acting as if they're having fun because they're trying to get the Lamborghini, the business class flight, all of this kind of stuff ahead of just enjoying making the content. They're copying other people and not enjoying it. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of fall down now. And it is hard. It's hard to look at what everyone else seems to be having and not chase that.
So who in the digital world would you say is a personality? And who would you say is the one it's like a negative term, but I don't want to be taken, is nerding their way into it?
It's a really good question because everyone is a huge blend of both.
Because I would say JJ KSI, he feels more personality, but
Yeah.
maybe he's not.
Yeah, if I go within the Sidemen, definitely, you've got, on one side of the spectrum, you've got Harry and JJ, who are very, very much they're just brilliant on camera. They're funny, they're entertaining. They have very, very little sense of self-embarrassment. I think that's one of their biggest kind of perks. They've never they have these huge big reactions to everything. They'll really open to make a fool of themselves, but it's all in the spirit of the content. And then I guess on the other side of the Sidemen, you've got myself and Josh Zerka, and we're definitely kind of more logical, more interested in the kind of business side, the ins and the outs.
The data.
The data, looking at the analytics. Simon as well. It's kind of me, Josh, and Simon. When we lived together, we would be sharing all sorts of, ideas. Hey, longer videos are working right now. Actually, at the moment, like, you want to do a shorter video, you want a longer overall average watch time. And then, actually, no, now you want a higher percentage of your video views.
Wow. So you were constantly, you're an analyst. You're basically, the analyst. And then you have almost the big personalities and you blend it together. And that's what's the perfect mix.
I think that's what works so well in Sidemen is with 7 very unique people. And when you combine us in different ways, in different environments, you always get a different outcome. It's kind of like this Pandora's box of content that we've stumbled our way into.
I have so many questions, so I just want to keep going. So, okay, so what are your thoughts on building a career around Grand Theft Auto or Fortnite?
Yeah, great. I think you could argue that the Sidemen began on Grand Theft Auto 5, 2013, this huge title that everyone was watching. We all started playing it together, and it was this sandbox open format, great place where we could mess around as a group of guys on the game, race each other, drive into each other, blow up each other's cars, and have this human kind of interaction. And that's actually where we made our GTA 5 crew, which was called the Ultimate Sidemen, which was a shot at ourselves. It's like, we're the Sidemen, we're not important, we're just having a laugh.
Is that where the name came from?
That's where the name came from. It was a GTA 5 crew, believe it or not. And then
because you weren't the main men, you're the side men. It was like the in-betweeners in a way.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, and also especially back in 2013, it was like the grime scene. It was like, you're a side man. Like it was like that's like where it came from. It was like, it was not a good thing, but it was almost like a bit of a laugh kind of thing.
So you're being self-deprecating from the sort of beginning.
And I think that's also a big part of our culture and UK culture. It's like you'll take the piss out of your friends. You'll put each other down, but it almost makes you tougher. And it makes you more real as well. We're not all sat there going, "Oh, you did so well in that race." It's like, no, you what are you doing? Why are you stuck at the bottom of the ramp? Like, why have you crashed into me, you idiot? Kind of thing.
Banter, that kind of like friendly banter, like work towards it.
Yeah, it gave us a great platform to display that. Then we hadn't even thought about becoming a group, but the fans of all of our individual channels enjoyed us coming together in that dynamic so much. They coined the term. They said, "Hey, we love Sidemen GTA videos," because they didn't have anything else to name it by. So then we became the Sidemen. Then we went to a gaming event called Insomnia, and we thought we'll print a Sidemen logo on a t-shirt. And we sold 1,000 of those t-shirts and we walked away with real cash. And we were like, hang on a second, this is not just, this could actually be a brand of its own thing. So yeah, I think it's all of these games, it can be a great place to build yourself. But the main thing is you have to transcend beyond that.
This is what I find so just absolutely mind-blowing. You're in this together. How do you stop being competitive with each other? Or are you competitive in a healthy way with each other?
Always, yeah. At that time, it was healthy, yeah, competitive. It was friendly, competitive nature. And also, we all were sharing our own audiences that we'd built and kind of bringing them together. And that's actually what let us go so much further. And I think a lot of the YouTube community, especially in the UK, fortunately sees that, is this idea that if you try and guard what you have,
it's collaboration.
It's not, it doesn't work in the long run. It's better just to collaborate with people, share your audiences, share your ideas, kind of bounce off each other and kind of all move forward together. And it's helped us in the Sidemen in that we've been a group since 2013. So 12 years now. And by forming kind of an official group, if someone has a year where they are, going through something, they're struggling, they're not feeling great creatively, they're not, making that content, it's fine. It doesn't matter. They're not kicked out of the group. It's not, this mindset of, oh, you're not, contributing right now, so therefore you're worth nothing. It's kind of, we're all, especially in the UK, we're all in it together. So then when somebody does have a great year, then they can help everyone else out as well. And it's kind of we move as a team, and we're more powerful as a collective than as individuals.
100%. Dude, collaborating is one of the biggest things, and we don't realize it. Like we all, it's why, like, you know, school I find sort of an archaic system, because you're told not to copy or collaborate, but actually life should be about that.
Yeah.
And you know, especially in you know, some of the most successful people in the sort of television landscape have been co-pros. You know, they make shows that they collaborate, and people we want to hold on to our stuff for some reason. We don't want to collaborate, but collaboration is the way that you grow.
Massively, yeah. All of like our best ideas as well will work with other creators and be like, oh, they did this in this way, like maybe we could do a bit of that. And I'm sure people come and film with us and they see the way we do things and they're like, oh, we'll take a bit of that on. And then even with ideas, we take kind of formats that already exist and change them and make them in our own way. And if other people do the same with us, it's kind of all fair game. It's let's just make cool videos and run with it. So yeah, it worked well. But the
competitiveness within you guys in Sidemen, that never got out of control. It got out of hand. Friendships have never been lost because of it.
No, definitely not. We did have a slightly funny period in 2017 where everyone started making diss tracks about each other that were half real, half not real.
It got a bit out of hand.
Yeah, a little bit out of hand, yeah, but they've got tens of millions of views, and everything all came back together in the end. So
do you know what the biggest successes in life, right? If you look at like TV shows like Friends, right? Or if you look at like Kardashians or whatever, it's because people stay together. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The format stays the same. And the Sidemen is the same thing. What year is it now? 13 years?
Yeah, it'll 12.
Okay, 12 years.
Coming up on, I think, 13 in October.
So 13 years together this year. And the success is that you guys have stayed together. You haven't shifted, you hadn't moved. And I hear loads of reasons why that isn't, because you split everything equally. And you're all the equal board members and all these amazing attributes which build success. But as you go into music, as you are getting married, as you know, you guys have kids, everything, it does such change. How do you make sure that the Sidemen don't split up?
It's a lot of mutual respect. I think that's kind of one of the key things. And just understanding that everyone is doing their different things, but at the same time, we respect the project and kind of we show up for the project. And I think we are giving ourselves and each other more leniency now with things that are going on outside in our life. And the nice thing we've been able to do is we've been really focusing on building our team to take more and more of the pressure off ourselves. So while the work rate is it's a lot more manageable when a huge amount of the behind the scenes is now being handled by other people that we've effectively trained to think and work in the way that we would. So while it looks like we're kind of developing loads of outside work responsibilities or outside Sidemen responsibilities, at the same time, the workload within Sidemen is kind of coming down for us to balance that out.
How do you get people who are not the core members of the Sidemen obsessed with what you do? Because that's what it takes. We spoke about it. It's like obsession, right?
Yeah.
So how do you make sure that your team members are also obsessed?
It's just interviewing, finding the right people and creating kind of a work culture of people who are kind of, they just care about the final product. And I think, yeah, that works well. And also we're not kind of too obsessed with, you have to be working, 9 to 5 every single day. It's like, okay, if everything's in good standing, you're done at 2 p.m., go and do whatever you want. But if something's not right, we'd hope that you will keep working until it's right in the same way that we would. So it's
amazing
creating that kind of work
and
culture.
What people don't realize, right, I think, well, maybe they do with the Sidemen, not only is it creating videos and building your careers there, you also build products. You now have you've done this new Netflix show, which is Inside.
Yes.
Inside, which is insane.
Yeah, that was really fun as well.
So you've sold a whole concept to Netflix.
Yeah.
Which is wild. And you also have a VC arm.
Yes. Yeah.
Shiver.
It's a bit of everything, yeah. Which actually, me and Josh are heading up the venture side of things. And again, that's really, really fun. And it's this new learning experience.
This whole new digital age is a crazy one, right? And I think we put a lot of our worth now.
The numbers and
the views, man.
And the algorithm is crazier than ever because it really, like, we there wasn't really an algorithm when we made content. So it felt really nice for us.
Explain that. What do you mean? For somebody who doesn't know what the algorithm is, what do you mean by the algorithm?
So there weren't so many people making content when we were across Instagram, Twitter, TikTok didn't even exist, YouTube. It was at a point where it was not oversaturated. So we would make content, and if people subscribed to us or followed us, they would see our content because there was not so much content that they couldn't see all of the content. And there weren't, the social media platforms hadn't built in algorithms to hyper analyze the way people consume the content, what they think, what the platform thinks the viewer wants to see. But now it's flipped the complete opposite way. And you do have to play the game of human psychology to really keep people's attention. And that can be exhausting in itself.
Give me an example of that. What do you mean? How do you lean into someone's psychology to know that this video is going to work?
So for short form, for social media clips, they have to be captioned. They have to be quick cut. It's like, no, a lot of people you won't capture a wide audience if your video is just a 1 minute unedited conversation, unless you have built up this really great fan base and what you're talking about happens to resonate with loads and loads of people. But it is just the way stuff is edited now has to be it has to have that
hit your endorphins.
Because
dopamine.
If half the people that see it go not interested and move on, the algorithm then decides your video's no good. We're not going to show it to more people. And that's like a new shift, which is also exhausting. And also it makes it very difficult for creators trying to build a following, an audience now. We started in a time where if people were a fan of us, they would see most of our content because there wasn't so much content that they couldn't. And there wasn't loads of, I guess, non-specific content being fed to these people. But now it's like anything, right? If you get there early, it's easier. Now there's probably more, I think they say it's being an influencer or a creator is the most desirable job with the younger generation now by a long way.
Because they see that.
But then you're competing with all of them.
You're competing with all of them.
Yeah.
How much content is put out to YouTube every single day, do you think?
I have been told the stat. It's the last I heard, it was something like 20,000 days every day.
Matt, you ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Over 720,000 hours of new content is uploaded daily to YouTube.
Okay, yeah, so that's about 20,000. So or double 20, but 10,000. Yeah.
10,000 days.
Is that 10,000 days? No, 10,000 days.
How have you done that maths that quick? That is outrageous.
Sorry, it's 30,000.
How have you done that maths that quick?
30,000 days, yeah.
You've done that maths that quick?
30,000.
Sorry, that's the biggest thing in the episode. You've just done that maths that quickly. You kidding me? Like, what the hell was that?
See, that's the funny part about me is I wouldn't describe myself as creative. I'm like a maths and science nerd.
Really?
And I scienced and mathed my way into this creative world. I'm like not creative by nature. I'm more of I'm like a chameleon. No one knows.
Mate, but so firstly, that's crazy. So that's 30 days.
30,000 days every day.
30,000 days
every day
worth of content.
Yes.
Every single day uploaded on YouTube. What the It's the most competitive industry in the world. It's got to be.
Yeah. But also, I guess the other way you can look at that is you've got billions of people consuming YouTube every day.
Totally, right.
So more people than ever
are there watching,
there are
consuming.
So many niches, you can be the best at making, flying RC airplanes. There's a niche for that. And that's what I think we all love about YouTube. It's super empowering and was for us. And even with that much competitive nature, you'll still see new channels blowing up.
So talk me through this thing what you just said, which I find so interesting, right? Which is where you're saying you almost nerded your way into this industry. Because I see it a lot with Mr. Beast. I now see it from you. It's with music production, right? And I know you DJ and it's all mathematical.
Yeah.
And what I find that there's a really interesting thing, right? Which is, okay, so we look at these international DJs, right? Mm-hmm. Calvin Harris, or yourself, who's now DJing Tomorrowland and things like that, which is just mad, right? That's crazy, right?
Sure.
And if I watched the God rest his soul, Avicii documentary,
mm-hmm.
and these people who are achieving stuff over here, which seems as like an extroverted, you have to be this creative, outgoing person who sprays bottles and everything like that. But actually, if you talk to a lot of these individuals, slightly introverted.
All about the craft.
It's
Yeah.
all about the craft.
Yeah.
It's about how you're mixing and mathematically getting things together. And that's the music. And you're saying the same as with YouTube and
Yeah.
creating. But explain that to me for someone, because most people listening and watching now will go, no, these are outgoing creative people who can sit in front of a camera and talk because that's what a TV presenter is. But that's not what you're saying.
Yeah, it's almost especially early on in YouTube, it was like you had to be everything. You had to be the on-screen personality. You had to be the content strategist, the video script writer, the editor, the everything of the video. And I think that creative people definitely thrived in that, but it almost required a systematic approach in that basically you build a team and that team is yourself. Isn't that what a weird concept? But I guess a small business owner is the same, because as a small business owner, you can't hire someone to do all the accounting and the product and the distribution and the marketing. So small business owners do it all themselves. YouTube creators are kind of the same, but it is this very strange, forward-facing, humanly perceived side to it. So I think, there's different ways of doing that, but in my experience, it does take a bit of a kind of logical business approach to it. And I think either you go for that route, or the most, wonderful creative people I know who hate the business side, they hate the ins and outs. If they hire a good team, then they can be supported doing that.
So when you're in lockdown and you were playing Call of Duty,
Yes.
how good did you get?
I got pretty good pretty fast early on. I think I picked things up quite quickly.
How though? Because that's coordination, or what is it's coordination tactics?
Yeah. It was like 10 years of, well, actually I say 10 years, probably 20 years of playing video games up to this point, which I think also just set me a good groundwork. And then also what helped was it was my job to play the game. And I guess a lot of people, lockdown, they're still working remotely, whereas I was on all day, every day playing that game. And that let me kind of pick it up quite quickly. I guess also I had the high stakes on me because I was live streaming it. So I'd have 10,000 people watching me playing at all times. So that forces you to perform at that kind of higher level.
How many people watching you?
It's like 10,000 on average, sometimes 50, 60,000 people watching me in these tournaments that I was playing, which was also this crazy thing. But also you think during lockdown, people, they had so much more time, and a lot of people were in on this game and they wanted to see me playing the game so they could pick up things from how I was playing. And I was also playing with people much better than myself. They did exist. And I was learning from them as I was kind of playing. And that's how it
does the game pay you to play?
No.
But you would earn revenue from
revenue
from uploading videos or whatever
Yeah.
it is. That's it. So for anyone who doesn't know, Call of Duty is like a war game, and there's a thing that which you can play, which lots of people play, which is like Warzone, where you get dropped into what is like a
map.
A map.
Oh,
and
a city.
A city, and you have 160 people or whatever it is.
It's
and
the Hunger Games.
It's the Hunger Games.
That's
the
it.
last one survives wins, and you get a kill. What was your best? What was your kill count? Your best kill count on a Call of Duty?
The biggest video that we did was when there's there were 135 players in the lobby. But the thing is, when you die, you have a chance to come back. You go to this prison, you fight in the gulag, and you can come back.
And the lobby is the map. That's the place where you play, yeah.
Yeah, and so during one of these lockdown games, I think me and the 3 other players who I was playing with, who were, they're part of FaZe Clan's professional Call of Duty team. So they're some of the best ever. And we were playing, and we got 138 kills in the game, which is more players than there were actually in the lobby. So we killed some of those players twice in the same game, and we split up. So it was teams of 4, and we each went off individually, and we were taking out teams of 4 players at a time.
It's like the SAS being in
it was, but also it's funny if you go back and watch that now, like anything, the skill level is just so much lower. It was just early on where other people hadn't quite got to grips with the game. Whereas we'd been playing it every day. So we were nowhere near as good as the people that play now, but we were so much better than them back then that we could walk through entire teams of people. So that was, a fun time.
Because people used to say you were that good, that means you must be cheating.
I got a lot of that. Yeah, there were entire Facebook communities that would share clips of me playing and create conspiracy theories about how I was cheating at the game, which was, again, in gaming, they say that's the best compliment you can get. If someone says you're hacking, that's high praise. So I just kind of had to roll with it. So that was a fun chapter. And again, that allowed me to get back into this obsessive state about what I was doing. Because before that, again, it was more kind of Sidemen focused, but we went into lockdown. And we were like, well, we can't even meet up to film Sidemen videos anymore. We were sat on like video calls making Sidemen Sundays, and they're some of our most viewed Sidemen Sundays to this day, actually.
People were just inside, they had to consume stuff.
And everyone else stopped.
Everyone stopped doing it.
Stopped making content and we almost stopped. We actually had a vote in the Sidemen, and it was 4 votes to continue making videos through lockdown, 3 votes to stop.
Wow.
I was one of the votes to stop.
Because you thought this was a time to rest.
And I thought we can't live up to the quality standards we're trying to create.
Who voted to continue?
I want to. I don't want to put someone else forward and say that they, said to continue when they said they wanted to stop when they didn't. But I just remember I was wrong in that, and that's the power of the Sidemen. Is
I love the loyalty you just did. You didn't want to say. You didn't want to say.
Yeah, because I think it's just one of those things. But it was me and 2 others said we should stop because how can we make good videos? And I remember one of our videos, we went and did a mukbang on one of the boys' rooftops.
Which is where you eat food, right?
We just sit and eat food and talk, and we were sat 2 meters apart on these different chairs dotted around the camera. We sat and we eat, and it's got, I think now, like over 30 million views. And I remember, again, we said at the time, we're like, we can't just make a video of us sat eating, but...
You've got to tell me, 30 million, just give it to 30 million views, what revenue are you making?
30 million views... between $250,000 and $300,000 as an average. It might be more, it might be less.
But to get to 30 million is impossible.
Yeah, it rarely happens ever. And that was a video that cost nothing, and we were just sat on our roof eating. And it was a video that we were all sat there scratching our heads thinking, how on earth are we uploading a video that's an hour of us eating food and talking? How is this our big production piece for the week? But it also goes to show, and I think that's kind of what has taken us further, is a lot of the audience just want to hear from us rather than other channels where it's all about the spectacle and the show. It's balancing both.
You got married?
I did. Just over 2 years now.
Let's go, man. How was it?
Yeah, it was great. It was the best day ever. It is so surreal, kind of, having that occasion. Everyone that's important in your life all in one place at the same time.
Isn't it the best?
It was amazing. So
if you ever, I'm about to be a dad in December, which is like the most
true. Actually, congratulations.
Thanks,
on
man.
that.
Thank you so much. Would you ever think about kids? Is that something that you would want at some point or no?
Yeah, at some point, but also kind of at a point in my life now where a puppy is enough responsibility. And it's a good kind of step of just this, okay, I can't go away as much. If we are going away, let's find someone to kind of watch. So it's almost like that half step of responsibility that kind of made me realize, actually, I kind of want to try and travel and kind of do a lot of stuff now, that get it all out of the way to the point that when I do kind of want to have a child, I can think, okay, this is my new responsibility. This can be my consistent project that I'm there for every day. So yeah.
Lots of fans turned up at your wedding in Malta.
That was surreal. That was a bizarre
Explain what
experience. Happened. I think there were a lot of fans in Malta in general, which we didn't particularly realize. I guess it's an English-speaking country. I guess, again, it's one of those places that I don't think many YouTubers go to. So when we all turned up, it started a little bit of a buzz. And we were told during the wedding that there's like 100 fans outside the wedding venue. And I'm thinking, what on earth is... Because I'm thinking in my head, we love our fans. We'll always give time to our fans. But if there's one place, I really think it's fairly obvious.
Yeah, don't come to my wedding.
It's fairly obvious that you probably shouldn't show up to was the wedding. So yeah, they were just... Fortunately, there was a gate on the venue, so they shut the gate. They had one police officer who was kind of just stood telling them, but you can't also, they were outside the venue, so you can't really tell them to leave. I did feel bad for some of the guests because obviously they've come to a wedding.
What do they think? Some of the guests who don't get it, they didn't understand.
Oh, yeah, a lot of family members were just like, well, the thing is actually to them, it was much more funny because it's like, I guess a lot of my family that don't understand the YouTube and that kind of world, to them, it's like, I guess it's a bit of a laugh. It's like, what? But I think some of the other kind of, creators who were invited, I think they did really, like we did, feel the privacy is just violated. It's just not.
What did your wife make of it?
Yeah, she wasn't happy. I remember we drove out of a different exit and she was hiding below the window of the car as we left the wedding. She's like, I don't want loads of like social media pictures of like me through the car window partying. It was good fun. Of course. So we just wanted to
you want to have fun and just be married in that moment, right?
Yeah, that was a very, very strange situation. It's not one that we could have predicted, really. But I mean, fortunately, they didn't come into the venue. Nothing bad happened. It was just a bit uncomfortable and just felt just a violation of privacy.
Do you like keeping your relationship private as well? Is that one thing that you don't really, not that you share everything, but you want to keep that to yourself?
Yeah. It's just something that we just keep to ourselves. And I think it is also nice to have part of my life that isn't all
consuming
broadcasted. And my wife, has zero interest in having people know who she is or followers or any of that sort of stuff.
Do you know what? My wife is the same, but I force her into it. Vic, also last year you amazingly revealed, you did a video saying that you had Crohn's disease. Firstly, how are you doing?
Much better now, fortunately.
Okay.
I'm on some immuno kind of suppressant medicine, which so far, touch wood, is keeping it pretty stable. But that was a tough thing to kind of go through.
Can you explain it to you?
Explain. Crohn's is an autoimmune disease where effectively some cells in your gut, your immune system, they don't really understand it properly yet. It just kind of attacks them. So it just causes kind of damage within your gut, and it can be uncomfortable, painful, stop you from kind of eating, trips in and out of hospital. So that was difficult to kind of go through. And also, like, if you're not eating, your energy level is like struggling. So when you're kind of on camera all the time, traveling, I was so like exhausted for a kind of few years, and it's a difficult one to kind of diagnose.
You didn't know why?
No, that's the thing. There's a series of kind of gut conditions, and it is just like, it's probably one of the less understood parts of science. So it was difficult going through that and kind of working out what it was, trying different treatments, eventually getting something that worked. And that was also then a thing of kind of like, I was just going through it, and it's one of these things that people call an invisible illness. So you kind of, from the outside, other than I lost a lot of weight, I looked kind of myself. So it's difficult to say like, I'm really not feeling well, because it's kind of like inside you. So it was a challenge to get through, but again, through time, found the right medication and much better now as a result of it. And then that was kind of when on a video, I got really ill to the point where I just was like, I gotta get out of this video. And then I kind of thought, if I tell everyone now on the video, also other people watching who have the same condition will hopefully kind of realize that I think a lot of people do have it, but it's one of these invisible conditions. A lot of people don't talk about it. So people who have it can feel like they're kind of alone, and it's kind of like they're in this unfair situation. So that was something I kind of went through, and fortunately better now.
Scary time, right?
But definitely very uncertain and scary, and just it is. And it also kind of, it's a challenging one, because you start to blur in your head what is actually I'm unwell, and what part of it is I know I'm unwell, so I feel unwell, or what part of it is I'm just run down and tired. It's like you're battling all those things in your head at the same time. So
it's a hard thing to like juggle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes you realize how important health is.
Definitely, yeah. And I've kind of focused on health since then, and I think that's also helped alongside the medication. Is just kind of cleaning up my diet. Kind of, there is, to go into another tangent, there is just so much unhealthy kind of food and drink and things in our environment that exist now that I'm sure was also contributing to it. So,
Do you know, it's just to be healthy, it's expensive.
mm-hmm.
Like, that's the crazy thing. We
Yeah.
talk about the problem with obesity and the problem with, lots of different issues that go on with unhealthy eating. It's because to go and buy an avocado is like £3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy.
And it's inconvenient.
And
as
it's
well.
inconvenient.
You got to sit, cut it all up, get the stone out. Like, I'll just pack
What's
it of
easier
crisps.
to go and get is go and get a frozen pizza and chuck it in the oven.
Yeah.
That will feed a family.
Yeah. And I did that for a long time as well. Like I said, I was on the ready meal to frozen food. It was funny. When I first met my wife, she was horrified. She was like, "You live out of this fridge full of like ready meals."
And you're like, "Yeah, this is sexy."
I was like, "I'll put this up front.
Funny.
This is the deal.
Yeah.
This is part of the deal."
Listen, here we go. When was your first date? Where was it?
It was at a bar near the O2 back in, must have been like 2016, 17. So a long time ago.
That moment when you decide that you're going to... Did you ever have... I had the moment with my wife when you suddenly go, I think I'm going to marry them. Did you have that? And you were like, did you ever clock and chain and go like, I would marry this person?
I think it changed at some point, but I don't have like a defining,
Do you not have a defining moment?
Point, but I know a lot of
I remember
people do.
mine was like sitting... it was a few times, but then sitting on the loo, and I was like, I think I'm going to marry her.
Nice.
Like, honestly, yeah.
Nice. It's a great place to think and reflect, right? It's you get away from your distractions. And
It honestly was just insane. If you guys have kids,
yes.
if you ever do, what would your rules be on social media?
Great question. I wish there was an answer to that question. I think it would be even crazy now to try and project that decision. Because even in 2 years' time, what is social media going to look like? Even in 5 years' time, 7 years' time. So I think it all depends on where the world is.
Your music career as well, man. So now you're drifting to the space where you've been booked. You did Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
What was doing Tomorrowland like?
Unreal. That was, it doesn't get, in my eyes, it doesn't really get much better as a festival. And it's one that I've been to 4 or 5 times. So it was, the coolest moment. And we were all there. The funniest part is we were all going anyway. So I'd booked for me and all of our friends to go to Tomorrowland months prior. And then I get an email saying, "Hey, would you like to play a set at Tomorrowland this year?" And I'm like, what? And it was funny. All my friends were joking. They're like, "Oh, we're going to get we're going to sneaky set." And I'm like,
yeah, fucking right I am.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It came as a big
highlight.
Surprise. Yeah, super highlight moment. And I think, it has a nice story to it in the sense that it was, one of the first dance music festivals I went to. It's one of the kind of most well respected in the world. And just the vibes are great. So no, I had the best time.
Man, that is amazing. So, but then how do you juggle everything, right? Because if you're DJing, you're moving into this area, into music, that feels like it needs to take a lot of focus.
It does, yeah. So it is but again, I've taken focus off. I'm not doing the kind of gaming videos and live streaming, which was this huge time investment. And it's actually worked out kind of well because for me personally in gaming, there's not any game that I love right now that also works great for content. So it's a natural place to step away. Whereas if I force myself to be doing gaming videos and live streams,
you won't enjoy it.
After doing it for 12, 13 years, I wouldn't be enjoying it. So it's just like massively out of my comfort zone, which is good.
Great.
And it's
constantly
just a place,
pushing yourself.
Yeah, and it's a place to learn new skills. And also what I really enjoy about it and that makes it kind of worth the time commitment is the real world engagement with this audience that I've built through a screen.
Wow.
It's so nice because we've done events before. I mean, there's things like the charity match, which is huge.
It's huge, man.
But also it's kind of they're there to watch everyone in the sport itself. And then we've done like events where we do a meet and greet, but I'm sure as you know, you can kind of meet like 100 people or so an hour. Any more than that's a bit impossible if you want to give the people a good experience. So you're a bit kind of limited in terms of how many people you can share an experience with. And then I played my first set at Ministry of Sound about 2.5 years ago. And there were 1,000 people in the room. And it was cool to be able to share something with them in a real world environment.
Because you're sort of almost in a weird way, sort of giving back. Because weirdly, when you stand there just signing stuff, maybe it's a bit odd. But that is sort of, you're saying, no, this is something that I've done. And I hope you're providing it for them.
Yeah. And it was going from seeing like numbers on a video, like X many views, 200 comments, it's just text strings, seeing like real faces of people who are supporters. So just at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to try and follow this to wherever it gets to. And again, even at that point, someone said, oh yeah, you're going to play festivals and Tomorrowland and support people like Alan Walker. I would have been like, there's no way. I'm like, this is just a fun hobby. But I think, again, it started in a similar way to how YouTube started. It was just something that I wanted to do because I enjoyed doing it. And I think those are sometimes the things that go the furthest. So,
do you ever get imposter syndrome?
The DJing, big time. Massively. Like, it's especially now going to a festival and like getting taken around on a buggy, going into a green room with drinks rider there. And I'm like, no, I'm the guy who plays video games. Like, what's gone on here? No, with the DJ, massively. And I think it's a tough thing to get my head around because I think everyone enjoys the environment. But again, you've got people commenting from kind of the outside and they'll be looking at these performances and making comments based on what they're seeing. But actually the real world, environment in that room is very, very different. So it has, there have been a few times where I'm like, what on earth am I doing? Like, this is not for me. And I think especially I had a lot of resistance into getting into it.
Of course.
And it was actually through Alan Walker kind of really being a great friend and pushing me and saying like, you will enjoy doing this and helping me that I got into it. But it wasn't something that I'd even considered because it was like, how can a YouTuber be a DJ? It just didn't align in my head.
Makes you realize that really if you want to do anything, if you really want to do stuff, and you can just put your mind to it, you can kind of do it. Unless it's like becoming an NBA player, I'm not going to be able to do that. I really don't think. But you know what I mean. But if it's something that you can create and do yourself, you can kind of. It doesn't matter how big or small it is, you can kind of do it.
And that's I think that's where sometimes the best things happen is when you don't really aim for anything in particular. You just kind of just do it again to learn the skills. It was just this challenge. It was this unique environment, and I remember. One of the big imposter syndrome moments was before I played for the first time at Ministry of Sound. I had some friends who DJ'd there, and they basically said like, "Hey, they taught me to DJ a bit." They were like, "You should come and play a set." And I remember I was practicing in my bedroom, and I was playing all of this music. I was like, "Yeah, this is good." And then I was like, "This is great," but audience of 0 people. And I got to Ministry of Sound, and I play like really upbeat EDM dance music. I walk in and they're playing like some Drake and some Travis Scott. And I'm thinking to myself,
this is not good.
No, and I'm thinking to myself, I've convinced myself that the music is good. Me and my audience of myself in my office playing this music has said, yeah, this is going to be good. And I'm going to walk out and everyone's going to boo me off the stage.
And you're just like, this is not going to be good.
I've got to go. I was like, I've got.
It's actually not going to be good here.
But
it's like when you're about to tell a joke and you realise it's not funny and you're like, oh, fuck.
What now?
Oh, God, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, and there's a room full of people that it's been advertised, Vikkstar's here. But again, as soon as I went out, it was, a lot of people in the crowd knew who I was. Then they were just ready to get on and enjoy anything. And that was, and it went great, but it was funny.
If someone's listening right now and maybe they are at the beginning of their journey on YouTube or they're at the beginning of their journey doing content creation or just anything in that space or in this world, what advice would you give them?
I think, again, our theme has been work hard consistently. And also, I think use everything as experience and a learning.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be you're making good money from this. Not everything has to be you're creating huge success from this. So often the things that you go into for the experience, to meet new people, to learn those skills. I guess a way I see it in my head a lot now is in the way that you create your own luck. It's almost like the more things you do, the more people you meet, the more places you go, the more things you attempt to do, you increase the surface area of your luck. And the more you increase that, the more good things that will come to you in time.
That is so right. Because it is, that's where we go to, like, we create our own luck. And the way that you create your own luck is putting yourself in environments where that luck can happen.
Exactly.
You've got to put yourself out there.
Yes.
Man, but can I say I've loved every second. Monday after the weekend, that just kick ass in every single way. I really appreciate it, man. We end our episode with 8 questions, quick fire. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready to go, and thank you as well. Great questions. You did your research and your homework. So.
Dude, it's freaking amazing.
Appreciate it.
What's a saying or phrase that makes you smile or cheers you up?
Oh, probability has no memory. And I say that because it's one that I used to say with the Sidemen a lot, and they would laugh, and they'd be like, it's just my way of saying that, yeah, probability has no memory. It's like things will happen and happen again.
I love that. I'm going to use that. What scares you most about yourself?
What scares me most about myself? My inability to focus sometimes. Very easily distracted and kind of mind wanders, and can be problematic.
That's also leads to success, though, because you can...
True, yeah, you end up in weird tangents. But there's a time and a place, and sometimes, I'll just be...
Especially in a relationship.
Yes, there you go. You know, okay, we're in the same boat with that one.
Yeah. You're not present. Yeah, I am. I'm here. You're not present. I'm like, what? I am. I'm here. Like, yeah, I've had that chat before as well. When was the last time you cried?
Probably when I was like frustrated with trying to get on the right medication for my Crohn's, and it wasn't kind of sad. It was just like really just frustrated and kind of going to doctors and kind of not being able to get a proper answer on kind of what was going on, and it just kind of got to me a bit. But
yeah, I can get that, man.
Yeah,
that frustration is and well done for speaking out about it, because so many people are probably dealing with it.
And they feel like it's just them, but I think a lot of people do go through health issues, and it can sometimes be...
It's a very lonely place.
Yeah.
I get it, man. What's something you can't let go of?
How good of a video game Halo 3 was.
How good was it?
It's so good. It's so good. It's like one of the first multiplayer games on the original Xbox.
How good? Is it unbelievable?
It was just, at that time, it was just we'd gone from playing video games on our own to this first multiplayer experience that everyone was playing. And it was just, it was like, as a kid, it was like,
oh my God.
Oh my word, that's another real person I'm playing the game against. So yeah.
Man, I remember when, for me, I think one thing I can't is still GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, the split screen.
Oh my God.
It's up there. That's up there.
Unbelievable.
That was a great game.
What's your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure is a video game called Dota 2, which I have, I think, 4,000 hours of playtime on. And it's I think I'm in top 1% of the top 1% rank of all players of this game.
What is it like? What type of game?
It's a MOBA. It's like League of Legends. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I know,
it's kind of like a strategy kind
like
of
fantasy,
5v5.
like fantasy.
Yeah. And it's the funniest part is it's my guilty pleasure, because every other game that I've played, I've made loads of content on and got loads of views on. Dota, I maybe made 2 videos.
It's just the one I just. It's like your secret. It's like your secret thing on the side.
And I used to play it with all of my friends all the time, and now I play it on my own. I just lock in and play this game.
I love that.
So it is truly a guilty pleasure, but I love it.
In general, what's your biggest turn off?
Turn off. Ooh, it might be just kind of superficial conversations that are very superficial, kind of very surface level. I think, it's just
going deeper is where it's at.
Yeah,
I'm with you, man. 100%. I like. I'm 100% where it's at. Get in there.
Definitely in that
one. What turns you on?
I think intelligence, like complex systems. Yeah, in all sense. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So AI must be exciting for you.
Wow. It's also terrifying. It's too intelligent. Actually, there's a human level of intelligence. When it goes beyond that,
you're scared of it a little bit.
Yeah. Skeptical, definitely. But I think that's
everything and everyone.
Yeah, I think that's you should be.
I agree. I 100% agree. What do you like most about yourself?
Oh, probably my work ethic and consistency. Again, it's this reoccurring thread through here, but I think it's done a lot for me.
Bonus, who's your favorite member of the Sidemen?
Haha, trick question.
If you had to pick one member of the Sidemen to live with on a desert island, forever,
to live with on a desert island,
and everyone else is
they perish.
They perish. Yeah.
Oh, that is. Well, you've made it easier with the desert island question. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Josh because he's very pragmatic, and I think we'd have that whole desert island operational pretty quickly. So,
Oh, Vic, this is amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on. This has been awesome.
no, thanks for having me. Cheers.
Thanks, man. That's amazing. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. So many things that I took from it. I've always been obsessed with how these incredible content creators keep going, keep delivering. And what it makes me realize is that actually in life, we kind of only look at the successes. We look at people who are doing incredible things now, but we don't look at their backstory the whole time. If you look at Vikkstar, he did a video every single day for around 4 years. Every single day, never missed one. That consistency and that patientness and that kind of desire to be great, that's what everyone needs to be successful. Overnight success doesn't happen. It takes years to get there. And it really reminds me that, we have those times when we're really working hard and we never really think we're going to achieve it, but actually it takes longer than we think. Also, how open he was with Crohn's disease. Made me realize that we have to be more open about all of our vulnerabilities. The more open we're about our vulnerability, the more we can connect with so many people. Vikkstar, thank you so much for coming on. It was incredible to get into the minds of what and who and how the Sidemen create and work and act. It's incredible. And if you like this episode, go and check out all of our other guests that we have on the show. And don't forget, we'll be back next Wednesday for another episode of Great Company.